Sound speeds and sound speeds and welcome to the long-awaited sound speeds and sound speeds and welcome to episode number 100. Now, I know I said originally that sound speeds and welcome to episode number 100. Now, I know I said a long time ago and I have messed up again. Sound speeds and episode 100 already. Sound speeds and welcome to the long-awaited episode number 100. Now, I know I said I was going to do a behind-the-scenes tour for episode number 100, but I've decided to change things up because I got a little bit of something coming up that will make a big difference because I actually upgraded my sound system recently. No, I didn't. Sound speeds and welcome to episode number 100. Now, I know I've been saying for a while that episode number 100 was going to be a behind-the-scenes tour of my studio here, but I've decided to change things up a little bit, and you will realize very soon why. I've actually done an upgrade to my system, and it's not the same thing as it would be. Sound speeds and welcome to episode number 100. 10. Sound speeds and welcome to episode number 100. Now, I know I said I was going to do a behind-the-scenes look at sound speeds for episode number 100, but I've changed things up because I recently upgraded my computer, and you're going to see a video collaboration I did with another YouTuber for this very soon. But for right now, I thought I would actually do a little bit of something fun. So instead, I decided we were good. So instead, I decided that we would have a little. So instead, I thought we would look behind the scenes at. What? So instead, I thought I would show you a few outros. So instead, I thought I would show you a few outtakes from a few episodes. That's too many views. So instead, I thought I would show you some outros. Again, outros. So instead, I thought I would show you a few outtakes from the first 100 episodes. Now, obviously, you're not going to see So obviously, you're not going to see outros. So obviously, you're not going to see outtakes from every single one of the first. So obviously, you're not going to see So obviously, you're not going to see outtakes from all of the first 100 episodes. I've kind of picked and chosen a few episodes to show you because, you know, we don't want to be here all year. Now, I'll be honest with you. A lot of the time, people on YouTube. Now, I'll be honest with you. A lot of people on YouTube present the information that they've scripted. What am I trying to say? A lot of people on YouTube prepare and even script out information that they want to present to their audience. Now, me, I don't really have time to do all of that because of my work schedule. Now, for the first 100 episodes, I agreed to release a new video every 3 days. That has proven to be very, very difficult for me because of my workload. Sometimes it's been 12-hour days on a minimum. Sometimes it's been as many as 17. And of course, with up to an hour-and-a-half commute one way, the days go very quickly, and my time to do things is very limited. That sucked. I'll be honest with you. A lot of people on YouTube prepare and even script out what they want to say to their audience. Me, I don't really have time to do that. I'll create an outline, and of course, A lot of people on YouTube will prepare and even script out what they want to say to their audience. Me, I don't really have time to do that with my workday because, sounds like an excuse. Me, in all honesty, I don't have time to do all that because I work usually somewhere between about 12 and 15 hours a day, but upwards of sometimes. A lot of people on YouTube prepare and even script out what they want to say to their audience. Me, I honestly don't have time to do that because my work days usually average around 13 hours a day, plus or minus a commute that's about plus or minus. A lot of people on YouTube prepare and even script out what they want to say to their audience. Me, in all honesty, I don't have time to do such things. Sure, I'll prepare an outline, but I can't exactly script out everything because I don't have that many hours in the day. I typically will work between about 12 and 15 hours a day, and I have a commute up to maybe an hour and a half. And in the past year, I've had a commute of up to about an hour and a half one direction. And in the past year, I've had on average a commute of about an hour and a half one way. And that has been, and on average, in the past year, I've had a commute of up to about 2 hours and 15 minutes one way. But the average has been around maybe about an hour and 20 to 25 minutes. That gives me a lot of time in the car to think about what I want to say and how I want to say it. But it does not give me time to script things out. So I will rehearse over and over again in the car what I want to say to you guys. Now, I don't always have a thing next to say. Now, I don't always have everything planned out because it is, of course, Now, I don't always have everything I want to say planned out because it's difficult to actually take notes while I don't do that. I don't always plan out everything I want to say because, of course, I don't know what I want to say. It would not be safe for me to take notes while driving down the road. So typically it's rehearsal, rehearsal, rehearsal as I'm driving down the road and practice, practice, practice. But of course, that goes away when I get in front of the camera. But of course, sometimes I change things up when I get in front of the camera. I find that the wording that I chose does not exactly jive with what I want to say and how I want to say it. Plus, I might have thought about something else I want to add on the spot. And sometimes my mouth just says things and I'm like trying to keep up. So in general, what I'll do is I'll follow this outline, and of course, so as a general practice, I'll follow this script. So as a general rule, I'll follow this to the letter. Now, what am I following? So as a general rule, I'll try not to deviate from what I've rehearsed. But of course, as a general rule, I'll try not to deviate from what I've rehearsed. Now, of course, as soon as I get in front of the camera, a lot of this just kind of starts wandering, and of course, my mouth, there goes with too many of courses. As a general rule, as soon as I step in front of the camera, I start saying what I'm trying to say. As a general rule, when I step in front of the camera, I will present what I have presented. As a general rule, I will stay. As a general rule, As a general rule, I'll present what I prepared. Now, of course, this does not always happen the way I was hoping it would. As a general rule, this will happen. As a general rule, I will present what I have prepared. Now, of course, as soon as I step in front of the camera, a little bit just kind of goes right past my mind and what am I trying to say? As a general rule, I will say, as a general rule, I will prepare what I prepared. As a general rule, I'll present what I prepared. Now, of course, this isn't. Ready to conquer the day. As a general rule, I will present what I prepared. Now, of course, this does not always happen when I say things in front of the camera. As a general rule, I'll prepare what I presented. The other way around. As a general rule, I'll present what I prepared. Now, of course, when I step in... As a general rule, I'll prepare what I presented. Now, of course, this does not always happen the way I planned it when I stepped in front of the camera. Because, of course, my mind starts wandering 5,000 miles an hour, and my mouth tries to keep up, and, of course, I will get myself looped up. And there I go saying, of course, yet again. It proves to be even more fun because by the time I get home and I'm ready to record, I'm tired. And... this proves to be even more fun than I ever thought, because when I get home, I'm usually very tired. This proves to be even more challenging than I originally conceived, because when I get home at night, I am very, very tired, and this has proved to be more challenging than I ever thought it would be, because by the time I get home at night, I am very, very tired, and more than anything, I just want to go to bed. But of course, I have a commitment to you guys, and I'd like to actually... This proves to be more challenging than I ever thought it would be, because by the time I get home and I'm ready to go to sleep, now it's time to do some recordings. So of course, let's do an episode of Sound Speeds for you guys. This proves to be more challenging than I ever thought it could be, because why? This proves to be more challenging than I ever thought it would be, because by the time I get home and get settled in, take a shower, and am ready for bed, now it's time to do some recording. And my mind is not exactly firing on all cylinders anymore. So I get in front of the camera and I stutter my way through something. And of course, there I go saying of course again. But luckily, I can reset myself and... restart myself and... I'm not gonna say of course again. But luckily, I'm able to restart myself and say it over and over again. Now, I have a system in place that works pretty well for me. Basically, I will say the same thing over and over again, and as soon as I get it right in my mind, I will move on. So in the edit, all I have to do is scroll to the very last one that looks kind of similar in waveform, you know, and then I can, don't get into that just yet. Usually this turns out okay because I'm able to Usually it turns out all right, and it doesn't take a whole lot more time in the edit than normal, simply because Usually it turns out okay, because in the edit, I will simply go to the very, very last take of doing a certain... Usually it turns out okay, because all I need to do is scroll to the end of my footage. Usually it turns out okay, because all I need to do is scroll to the end of my footage, and... Usually it turns out okay because all I need to do is scroll to the end of my footage and usually it turns out okay because all I need to do is scroll to the end of my footage and the very last take I did was probably the right one. So I just take that one and move on. Skedaddle. Usually it turns out okay because by the time I get it right, usually it turns out okay because when I start off Usually it turns out okay because every time I start my words off, the waveform looks a certain way. So all I do is I scroll through the footage looking for the waveform on that particular bit of dialogue. And as soon as it changes to something else, I say, well, geez, that's obviously the next segment. I back up, listen to the last take, and of course, that's probably the one I want to choose. And I said, of course, again, this is not a horse thing. Usually it turns out okay because all I need to do is scroll to the very last take I did of a particular thing that I'm saying. That's descriptive. Usually it turns out okay because all I need to do is scroll to the very last take of a particular segment and take that one because chances are I moved on when I got it right. I usually try to make my episodes look pretty polished, so I use this little flash effect to kind of do a white, but I usually try to make my episodes look pretty polished, which is the reason why I add this flash effect. That bridges the gap between segments in my edit. I don't really like the whole jump cut idea. Jump cut thing. Jump cuts. And in case you don't know, jump cuts are when the background stays the exact same, but the person in front jumps because they're trying to piece together multiple takes. Me, on the other hand, I don't really like the look of a jump cut because I guess you could say it's my 90s editing background. It's my 90s editing background coming to play. It's my 90s professional linear editing background coming to play. I guess you could say it's because of my 1990s linear editing background. And we did things a little bit different back there, not this whole jump cut thing. I know why people do it. It's quick and easy to just go cut and continue where you left off. It makes it very quick and easy in the edit because you just have to piece two segments together, and who cares if they jump? At least that's the modern trend. But in case you can't tell it from my appearance, I am not exactly what you would call trendy. And for the first 20 or so episodes of my YouTube channel, I would do a flash frame. And this is what I use to piece two segments together. That's of course a 1990s trick, but it does not work in the modern era, and here's why. A lot of people would tell me that they watch my videos at night in the darkness. Now, of course, again. I had multiple people tell me that they were often watching my videos at night when it was dark, and seeing a quick flash was like, jarring to their brain. But not liking the whole jump cut thing like you keep seeing me do means that I need to be a little bit more prepared with what I present, because I can't exactly do flash, 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 because that would be way overwhelming and it would just drive you nuts seeing that. So I do have to present certain segments and try to be somewhat streamlined in my content. I can't do those flashes too often, even though it would make things so much easier in the edit, because it would be very obtrusive and it would stand out and drive people nuts. So I try to piece together segments that are at least 20 or so seconds long. That at least gives you more to concentrate on and you see the flashes less, even though it's a lot easier to piece things together sentence by sentence if you do jump cuts. Why am I telling you all this? It's very simple. This is episode number 100, and I thought, how much fun would it be to piece together some of the outtakes I've done from some of my first 100 episodes? So without further delay, here we go. Okay, so Mr. Red, first of all, thanks for joining us here on set. Actually, let me start that over.
Take two!
That was the most god-awful opening.
Can we get a new slate? Currently, I have an amazing dual processor computer with 76 gigs of RAM. On my computer is there, my video's there, but my audio, do we need to restart that?
76 gigs of RAM?
Yeah.
You have 76 gigs of RAM for real?
Yeah.
Okay,
dual
let's
processor, 76 gigs of RAM. I am so sorry. I said I don't want to talk about my computer. What I do? Talk about my computer.
You know what? You can easily say, look, my system is great.
My system is great.
Well,
but my audio is lacking. Okay, there we go.
Okay, you ready? So we're gonna go
the frig down. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Red, I've noticed on your channel a lot of the time you do a lot of I'm starting this one different. That's my we're gonna take turns up.
Oh yeah. This is gonna be fun.
Okay, so Mr. Red, I've noticed now that you're starting to get more. No, we can't say that. Damn it.
Do not say kinky stuff. Don't you dare. You've gotten into YouTube.
You know how it is. You tell someone.
You gotta throw your brain off for a second. There you get your brain back.
Don't think of something. Don't think of anything red in color. Don't think of anything yellow, and then people are like yellow.
Gotta throw your brain off so you can get it back. There you go.
Okay.
Now you're back.
To remember that one. Yeah, we'll see.
I gotta remember, don't on the companies. Okay, go. Ready.
All right. All right. Sorry, I'm botching this so
No, it's
badly.
okay. Hey, you should see what you should imagine if I was doing it. Hey, f***ers, welcome back. Industry standards today for consumers consuming things.
Gotcha. So
Consumers consuming content.
Let me get the peanut butter and I'll hold it up.
That was great, though.
What the f was the sound device? 1 second. Oh, I can't believe it. F a duck. If you also have a tendency of taking your headphones and storing them in some sort of a, what in the world did I do to these things? Your producers, directors, and script supervisors are really going to appreciate this right here. No being moisture, non-moisture, no being moisture. Oh, that's good. Write it down in the comments down below. But until then, I will see you in the next video. Oh, geez, I can't do Markiplier. Thanks for staying with me, though, and I will see you in the next video. I did the Markiplier again. Damn it. Thanks for staying with me this long, and take care. And what she told me was, I don't know what I do. She says, I'll leave the house, and they like start following her wherever she's going. You show up early the first day, you go to catering, and they have a juicing station and top-of-the-line premium food. They have vegetarian food. They have crispy bacon for you. Son of a bitch. Crispy bacon for you vegans. And they have crispy bacons for you carnivores. Bacons. If it's anything you happen to do on the ground, you're okay with moving things around. Son of a bitch. Moving things around. What the f is that? The crew is f you. Just get through it. I don't fucking care. Let's go. Oh goody. Let's fucking, you know what? Damn it. And you are participating. Stop. Participating. Chances are you have read the script, you've read the sides, you know what's coming up, and start over again. This is what it's going to be like, huh? It sucks being unprepared for anything in life, much less when you are trying to do a good job at work. So what we have to do is work with the best possible, with our experience. We basically have to do the very best job we can, put up there against some troubles. If you know about it in advance, you watch the rehearsal. Start the f over. This is just f***ing horrible. 17 minutes. The reason I say that is because if you are we already said it's going to most likely go into a corner, right? That's the way it actually works. I'm gonna kill something. I so wish these videos shut themselves. Start over. I don't care. Damn it. Use the settings from the other video. That was goofy as shit. Sound utilities, you'll appreciate this one. If your boom operator is a prankster and likes to do things like, let's say, stick AA batteries inside your Leo windscreens, you may have found them very difficult to remove in the past. Whatever. Let's get this thing done. So I know this is a lot to take in if you're not a boom operator, especially. I just unplugged my headphones, so suddenly everything went completely quiet. But if you are a boom operator, you hopefully know what I'm talking about when I say this. You know what? This whole thing fucking sucks. So when it's on that side, it makes it extra heavy for you to have to hold on to. You keep from dollies running over and then if that's the case, then you need to have that extra, cable running back to your mixer. And if start over again. So with just a touch of frustration and a dash of tired bitterness, and you have yourself a wonderful episode of Sound Speeds ready to go out on YouTube. So I hope this was a fun look at behind the scenes fun behind-the-scenes look at a little bit of the So I hope you had fun with these outtakes and enjoying a little bit of watching me stutter and can't even say that right. So I hope you had fun watching me choke and get frustrated in front of the camera while I'm just simply trying to present an episode to you guys. So tune into more episodes of Sound Speeds in the future for more fun, probably frustration, and sound advice. Have a question you'd like answered or want to add something? Be sure to write it in the comment section down below. You can also make a suggestion for future topics of discussion. Again, comment section down below, or you can email me at soundspeeds@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on future sound advice.